Hello, how are we? I'm Geoffrey. I'm the founder of CryptoPass, and I'm delighted to be sponsoring a workshop on compliance. It's something that nobody really wants to know about or deal with because it's so complicated, but for everybody in the blockchain, crypto world, it's something that one really does need to know about. And we're really lucky today to have two people. One person who's going to tell us about the world of regulations and compliance, and someone who's actually going to demonstrate some tools. So hopefully this will be a great workshop. So we have Maha Al-Saadi, who's Compliance and Regulatory Affairs Director for a private German bank. And Maha is like a rock star in the crypto compliance area. She's at all the conferences and panels, and we're really lucky to have Maha here today to give us an overview of what's coming in Europe. And it's very important for all you guys to know. And after that, we have the Chief Technology Officer of CryptoPass, Arturs Rasnacis from Riga, who has an amazing team that have spent the last year developing tools to help deal with the regulations, tools which will help people in the crypto and blockchain world to deal with the regulations that you'll be hearing about today. So, and that's what we're going to have a discussion here. And I think we're going to go with Maha. We're going to let her take it away, and we're going to talk about compliance, and then we'll talk about the tools.
Thank you so much. First of all, thank you so much for having me. Just to understand the audience, how many of you know about MiCA, the Market in Crypto Asset Regulation? Yes. Okay, that is the kind of crowd I like. So I was lucky enough when I used to work for Deutsche Börse, the German stock exchange. I was a lobbyist and responsible for advocacy. And basically, the digital finance package was one of my babies. So we started the discussions, as you know, back in 2020 with the digital finance package, looking into how could we regulate crypto assets and what are the distinctions. So from September 2020 till just the 29th of June, MiCA came to life. And you could argue that from 2020 to 2023, that is a long time, not in European standards, because you need to get a regulation, you need to get all European countries to agree on it, and you need to translate it into different countries. So I'm kind of proud. It is not an ideal regulation, but at least we have a regulated clarity. So while the regulation was published and entered into effect on the 29th of June, it has two timelines of application. One, which is for stable coins or asset reference tokens and e-money tokens that will enter into force as of the 30th of June 2024. The remaining provisions that relate to crypto assets and crypto asset service providers will be implemented after that in the 30th of December 2024. And in the meantime, the EBA, the European Banking Authority, and ESMA are working on implementing regulatory standards and implementing standards that will go hand in hand with MiCA. So this is just an overview of where we started. Not working, apologies, there, no. Okay, so just a very quick overview. What is MiCA about? What is it trying to regulate? According to MiCA, there are three different types of crypto assets that it's trying to regulate. The first one is asset reference tokens. Asset reference tokens refers to stable coins that will get its value or maintain its value from referencing more than one fiat currency or a basket of currencies or assets, which differentiates it from the e-money tokens. The e-money tokens refers to one fiat currency, and in this case, it's the euro. And other crypto assets, which are the likes of Bitcoin, Ether, other cryptocurrencies. But what is outside of scope? What MiCA would not regulate is non-fungible tokens, except if they become fungible enough, then MiCA would apply. Then DeFi, and of course, DAOs are out of scope, and MiFID II instruments, because financial instruments, you will apply MiFID II or the DLT pilot regime. Fun fact, what about algorithmic stablecoins? Are they in scope or not? They are. So the Terra Luna of this world will still have to apply, but according to the crypto asset provision, net asset reference tokens and e-money tokens, what is also out of scope are miners, validators, or miners or validators are also out of scope. So what's so special about MiCA is that it also regulates the activities of crypto asset service providers. And according to MiCA, there's a huge possibility to offer these services. You have custody, you have trading, exchange from fiat, exchange to crypto, order execution, proprietary trading, transfer of services to third parties, reception and transmission of orders, providing advice, that's very important, would fall under MiCA, and providing portfolio management. I think I skipped a slide by accident. One sec, I'm sorry, but it was detrimental for the overview. This one. So what makes MiCA very, very special is the fact that it's a regulation. What does a regulation mean? A regulation means that it's applicable across the EU27 with no modification. All national competent authorities within Europe will have to take MiCA as their law. There's no way around it. So it's harmonized, which gives us the ability to passport MiCA across the EU27. So if you're authorized by the French AMF, and once you have that license, you can offer your services across the EU with notifying your regulators. The second thing is it gives you access directly then to all 447 million European citizens. That's quite a big deal. And it has, of course, the objective of balancing innovation and risk and providing legal certainty. Another thing that not a lot of people talk about is if you are a financial institution, a credit institution or financial institution, you don't need an authorization, unlike stablecoin issuers that would have to go through an authorization process, because traditional finance firms already have regulatory framework, which you could argue put stablecoin issuers into disadvantage. So that's another thing that not a lot of people talk about. All right, sorry to have jumped back and forth. So in terms of crypto asset service providers, what do they have to comply with? MiCA is like 200 pages long, and it sets seriously burdensome requirements. But to keep it short and to not take a lot of your time, I would summarize them into the following buckets: prudential requirements, governance requirements, conflicts of interest and complaint handling, capital requirements, and this is where I'm struggling with. The capital requirements for crypto asset service providers and stablecoin providers are exactly the same as those for financial institutions. So you have to apply CRR, CRD. That was not very well thought through in terms of reserve capital and what you have to do in terms of risk-weighted average. Back in 2021, there was a huge discussion to ban Bitcoin because it's bad for the environment. Proof of work is not good. So thankfully, the European Commission came to its senses and decided that we will not ban crypto, but what would happen is that you have to disclose your environmental footprint, and that will come in environmental reporting instead. Market abuse regulation, so you have to apply trade surveillance, you have to have best execution, price transparency, similar to traditional businesses, and of course you have to be authorized. Okay, so looking specifically at stablecoins, because that's what we're interested in today. Stablecoins, you have the e-money tokens, singling one currency, asset reference tokens, that is a basket or different currencies or a portfolio of assets. You have additional requirements on top that are super strict. And you have your authorization requirements. You have to make that your board or your management is fit and proper. You have to have a registered address in Europe. And you have to have capital requirements. Reserve assets. You have to have capital reserves saved at a custodian or a bank. You cannot just issue your stable coins without proper reserves, and that could be very, very expensive. Asset reference token providers have to have reporting requirements to their national competent authorities about the amount of stable coins that are in circulation. Then you have the custody of crypto assets. If you're issuing it, you're not allowed to hold a lot of it. You have to have, I think, 30% on the top of my head. Yeah, 30% that is saved with regulated custodians. to make sure that they can be certificate for your retail customers. Redemption rights. Whenever someone wants to convert the stablecoin to whatever they're backing it up, you have to be able to redeem it immediately. And the capital requirements, we spoke about that briefly. So we're talking about around 350,000 or 25% of your fixed costs, or 2% of your average reserve assets that needs to be kept aside for reserve purposes. Recovery plans, so if something goes bad, you will be able to compensate your clients, and that would also include the requirements of having an insurance indemnity in place for negligible risks. Okay, since I don't want to be boring you with a lot of regulatory details, but I need you to understand that MiCA is not a standalone regulation. If you comply with MiCA, that's not it. You have a number of other regulations that comes hand in hand with MiCA to complement them. The DLT pilot regime, this is a voluntary regime that is part of the digital finance package. And the DLT pilot regime would tackle the financial instruments of MiFID II, so shares and bonds and units in funds, where you want to issue traditional securities using DLT technology. And it will come up with exemptions from financial collateral, saving things at a security depository. So this is for the more issuing traditional financial instruments using DLT, and it's a temporary regime that will last 3 years only. And if it works, then the European Commission will extend it. Of course, you have to comply with GDPR, data protection requirements. DAURA is a big pain, and it's not getting enough attention. That is discussing the cyber resilience and operational resilience of your infrastructure and IT. How do you make sure that you're dealing with the right third-party providers, your cloud providers, you're not subject to hacks. You also have to comply with the Data Act. If you have any sort of smart contract element, the Data Act will tell you that you have to program your smart contract in a certain way, that you have to have a kill switch, which I'm starting to think how in the hell that's going to work. Sorry, excuse my French, but the Data Act is something that also should be looked at. IDIAS in terms of identity. If you're dealing with retail customers and they have their own wallets, then you have to comply with IDIAS in terms of identification and client onboarding. The Anti-Money Laundering Directive regulation and the Transfer for Fund regulation, these are essential for MiCA, because AML is usually the type of regulation or risk that all the regulators are super sensitive about when it comes to crypto, and these are very strict in terms of putting crypto asset service providers as obliged entities, as making sure that you have to identify your customers properly. And when it comes to transfer for fund regulation, if your transaction is more than 1,000 euros, you have to identify the beneficiary, their date of birth, where they're coming from, their source of funds. And this is really hectic, and that's where solutions like CryptoPass can come into handy. But as I said, do not think MiCA as a standalone regulation. It comes hand in hand with all of these. DAC 8 is the regulation that is trying to govern the tax part of crypto. How do you want to report taxes when it comes to holding crypto assets? And this is similar. Okay, I don't want to bore you with so much details, but the digital euro is the European Central Bank's allergic reaction to stablecoins. If you recall, when Facebook Libra came along, they suddenly decided that there's certain efficiencies that could come into play, and that's when the ECB decided to issue their study around the digital euro. Personal opinion, not that of my employer, I think it's useless. You do not need a digital euro that is retail focused for European citizens. Why? And it's capped at 3,000 euros, not using DLT technology, not even programmable. So here I really see that stablecoins have much more to offer compared to the digital euro. There are discussions around wholesale CBDC where I see some benefits issuing this. Okay, so I overran my time. If you have any questions regarding MiCA or any of the regulatory regimes, please feel free to just shout out and tell me if I'm getting too technical. And now I'm handing over for an overview of CryptoPass.
Before we do that, do we have some questions? Yeah, why don't we? I think we're small enough room, we don't need to have microphones here. Huh? Oh, great, okay. Come on up and ask a question.
Hey, thank you for the pitch. It was great. So here's the thing: I'm building a DeFi protocol. It's like it's a DEX. It runs on top of order book. It has a lot of assets inside, of course, and the users tell me what to do from the regulational perspective. We're based in Europe, by the way.
So DeFi is still out of scope of MiCA. But what the European Commission is doing is they're trying to look into ways to regulate the entity behind DeFi. So if they can pin it down to an entity, a coder, or a person, then they would argue it's not a DeFi and you have to be registered. And you have to apply current regulation. You have to really prove that you're truly decentralized for you to be out of scope. I would recommend you reading the research that was put together by Banque de France that is looking into is it decentralization or disintermediation, and they put a consultation paper together arguing that there is no such thing as decentralization. I disagree, of course. And based on these studies, they will feed it into the European Commission to come up with suggestions on how to regulate DeFi. The European Commission is also establishing some sort of a supervisory academy to look into use cases to regulate it. So far, we're in the clear because they don't have the tools. DeFi is going way faster than the regulators can go. My suggestion is pick the national competent authority that you feel comfortable with, France, Germany, and start the discussions, because as long as there is no law, you can still influence it.
A few years back, I and my business partner tried to issue a euro-backed stablecoin from the Netherlands. Everyone we talked to back in the day explained us that this would be seen as an e-money and that you need to KYC every holder of the token. Does MiCA give a definite answer now to that question? I mean, if you need to KYC every holder of a token, even for amounts like a few euros or a few tens of euros, then it's dead in the water. And so I see a few euro stablecoin issues now that kind of skirt around it and say that our customers are the people who come issue and redeem with us, but they don't consider the holders of the token as their customers. Is that within the framework? So if I go to an issuer, I deposit euros, I get a token back, but then the issuer says that if I transfer it to another individual or entity, they are not their customers, and so they don't need to KYC them.
So thank you. First of all, just to clarify, if it's an e-money token, then you're just pegging to the euro. Then it would be easier if you would have an e-money institution license. I agree with that, because you don't have to go through the whole authorization process, and you would have a notification as opposed to an authorization. When it comes to KYC, there are certain exemptions to fall out of MiCA. If you're offering your stablecoin for professional investors, or if your issuance is less than 100 million, on the top of my head, I think it was 100 million, you don't have to comply with MiCA, and then you can do it the way that is really decentralized, out of the radar. If the transfer happened between peer-to-peer without the involvement of a regulated entity or crypto asset service provider, then you don't have to apply the KYCs as you have it right now. But the moment that you're dealing with a CASP, a crypto asset service provider, or an institution, unfortunately KYC would have to apply in addition to transfer for fund regulation. Not very crypto friendly, and the threshold is 1,000 euros.
Hello. Is making data inaccessible using cryptography compatible with the Data Act, which call for deletion? Once a file is on IPFS, it's difficult to do anything else.
With the Data Act and the smart contracts, or?
You say you need delete the files. You can delete the files. But if you put the files on IPFS, just you can't delete. kill access is okay?
But this is still not final law. It is still in basically a draft proposal. And if you're having issues and arguments against that, again, please submit your comments to the commission. So this is still in a proposal. It's a proposal that the Data Act would look into issuing smart contract kill switch that would enable you to stop a certain smart contract from behaving a certain way and modifying it. This is not in force. It's not applicable yet. It will take maybe 2 years before it's into force. So there is a possibility to change the European Commission's law suggestion if you submit that through, it's called the EU survey. I can send you the link and you can come with arguments why this is not really the smartest idea. But it's not implemented yet.
You said that stablecoins, like algorithmic stablecoins, will be in the scope of MiCA. So if you have stablecoins which is backed by crypto and you have a protocol, how you will need to comply, what you need to do to basically comply if you are based in Europe?
So it depends on the way that you want to structure your stablecoin. If your stablecoin is purely algorithmic, then you have to apply the section that deals with crypto asset service providers in terms of authorization, in terms of capital redemption, etc. If you would say that you will structure your stablecoin where it has its value from a number of cryptocurrencies or crypto assets, then it will fall under the asset reference tokens that has its own specific section, Title 2 of MiCA. But I think like asset reference tokens and e-money tokens have much more higher requirements compared to the crypto asset service providers into which the algorithmic stablecoins will fall under. And in terms of you complying with ARTs and ETNs, you would have to already have everything in order by the 30th of June next year. Good news is, this is now being consulted by the European Banking Authority as of last week. They issued 3 different consultation papers. One of them is looking into that. I can also share the link with you if you like, because you have until September to submit feedback. Any other questions? Because otherwise, I'm happy to take any of them bilaterally once we're outside. And now I'll hand over for CryptoPass.
Thank you so much, Maha. Wow. No, that was great. That was really great. So, CryptoPass. So as Maha mentioned, with AML, for traditional banking to deal with crypto, especially with private non-custodial wallets, it's very difficult. We require the KYC procedure, funds ownership validation, so that the screening can be done on a specific wallet, and we need to know that this particular person owns this particular wallet. And quite frankly, there's very few financial institutions that want to go through the trouble to do this. It requires tremendous resources to go through and to be compliant with all the regulations that we see that are out there. And it's actually more costly not to be compliant, because the fines for non-compliance for banks is huge. What was that? Like 15 billion per year in global costs of non-compliance funds. So most banks, why do they not want to deal with non-custodial wallets? Because the risks are so high, the costs are so high. I mean, they're just not interested. There's very few banks, obviously, right now that want to deal directly with crypto. And unless you have a wallet that's worth hundreds of millions, the banks really are not interested. I mean, obviously, there are lawyers, there's other companies that can help put together documentation to go to the banks to show that you have great crypto and you're a wonderful person, but that costs a lot of money, and for smaller transactions and for normal crypto holders, that's really not an option. So, CryptoPass decided to provide these non-custodial wallet holders, as our first project, an app which you can download from the App Store, Google Store, which goes through a KYC procedure that you do on your app with a funds validation, so that we can actually confirm in the app that you are the holder of a specific wallet. And then we do a complete AML screening, know your transaction screening, and you come out of that as a pre-verified client, and we can actually present you with a CryptoPass certificate. And then we also started developing, and you'll see in a few moments, the CryptoPass dashboard, which is a service, a B2B service for banks, financial institutions, VSPs, that they can actually go in and see all the data, the raw data that we've collected on this person, on their wallet, so that they can do their own due diligence on this particular person and wallet. So in a moment now, we're going to show you the CryptoPass app and how it works, which, as I mentioned, is a KYC. It's then a confirmation of ownership with a specific wallet, and then a complete AML KYT analysis of your wallet. And you can actually have a printed certificate or a digital certificate, and there's different packages in the app which you can buy and pay for yourself. So this is a product where a person, a holder of crypto, gets their own compliance for themselves, is pre-validated, and then they can present themselves as a pre-validated customer with a wallet with a certain positive risk score, and they can take that and show that to a financial institution. And then the second product you'll see today is the CryptoPass dashboard. Not only is it a place where you can go in for our business clients to go into the raw data of every certificate that we issue, it also allows a business customer to configure what they require in terms of the level of risk and also the different details that they require on their KYC. In some jurisdictions, for example, you need a utility bill, in others you don't. In some jurisdictions, you need a live video interview with an authorized agent, in others you don't. So it's actually possible, and you'll see in a moment, to go in to set up your own customized requirements. And instead of, when you actually get your CryptoPass, instead of having these three standard packages, you'll actually have a specific demo or a specific package that's designed by the business client. You'll see how we do that in a moment. The third product is a CryptoPass ID, which is a subscription-based service where we continuously monitor the wallet, so at any time you will be able to show your risk score in real time. And in fact, we even have working on right now. So in order to actually show and have a hands-on demo of both the certificate, the process one goes through with the app that you can download, and the back office, I want Arturs to come up and demonstrate that.
Yeah, hello everybody. So as it did a workshop, so we should to have also some working here. So here, and I will show you our products. So as Geoffrey mentioned, we have this B2C product, which is already available in App Store. So I welcome you to download that. But for those who are service providers, who are business owners, yeah, I welcome you to scan this QR code and grab your access to our dashboard product. So it's also available, and we will send you the access for that. So, and give me a second, I will do a setup for me. So we will go to the scenario that you as a service provider should to verify the crypto user, yeah, for example. And we will show you our infrastructure for verifying these users. So for doing that, you should to apply to our partner, to become our partner, and we will grant you with the access. for that. And then you will have a possibility to create a specific project where you can send a specific link to your users to deal with all compliance or regulatory. So let's do it together. So I will create a new project. So to create a new project, you should to fill in project details, yeah, to explain to your users why you need to verify them. Yeah, that's why you have a specific, I don't know, ICO or something, yeah, where you need to verify your user. It's a specific project and you need to describe that. For each project, you will have a unique link that you can use in your communication with the client, and then you need to choose the verification level. Yeah, we have a multiple verification levels, and we can create a custom verification level for you. Right now in dashboard is available the regular verification for KYC, AML, and ownership, the advanced verification with video KYC, and also legal person verification. I will go with the standard one. And here you need to fill in the contribution parties who will receive the information about that verification and also the verification description. So in fast, it can look like that when you explained that you will invite user to do the verification, yeah, and that if user will accept that yeah, you will receive the user details, yeah. And here you can also explain in details verification process. After that, project is created, and you have this unique link that you can share with the users. Oh, sorry, it's not the right one. The workshop demo is this one, with all those details what we mentioned in previous form. Yeah, it's there, and you also can try to scan this QR code and afterwards go through this verification. And there is option that users pay for that verification. You don't need to pay anything to us. Yeah, users will pay for those verification. But if it's not compliant with your business model, we can also switch that you will cover the verification cost. It's like you can choose that. And I will go deeper and will show you how this verification is working and what we are receiving in that dashboard. So I'm connecting my iPhone to the screen. So now you will see the screen of my iPhone, and I will do the live verification. So you will see how we can do that. So here, after the scanning the QR code, user should to accept, yeah, your invitation, yeah. And if it's acceptable, then user is guided to a possibility to order, yeah, this verification, because it's costly. You need to pay to all those providers who are verifying the user. Yeah, that's why it costs some money for the user. But you can cover these expenses as well. And the users will see only that plan which you choose in your product. Yeah. Then I will do the purchase very fast. That's it. It's a live one. Yeah, I made that, and now users is seeing the thank you message, and he can start with the verification. Verification is divided in 3 parts. The first part, like Geoffrey mentioned, is ownership validation, but we need to understand who is behind that crypto profile, crypto user, crypto wallet. Then automatically we will do the AML check of this crypto wallet, and then you need to prove who are you, yeah, providing your information. Let's do it quicker. So I will try to do with my one hand. So I need in first step provide my crypto wallet, and I will go to Trust Wallet and will copy the Ethereum wallet address. So that's why I'm choosing here Ethereum. I will paste it here and go forward. And now I need to do a Satoshi test. Satoshi test is the simplest thing how you can verify the user behind the specific wallet. Yeah, you need to send the specific amount of cryptocurrency to the wallet. Yeah, and then we will try to catch this transaction, and then we'll say that you have a possibility to act with that wallet. So I'm copying the wallet. And transaction details. And now transaction will appear in my Trust Wallet. And now I can say that this transaction is made. And you see now the status of this verification is in progress. Yeah? And our servers are catching this transaction, and then they will confirm that. But we can go with KYC procedure. And here is also a multiple steps. I need to give my personal information, my document, do a liveness test, fill also the questionnaire about source of funds, and also verify my phone number. So I will try to do it quicker. Yeah, the profile data is filled, and now I need to do the verification of my document. I will also do it. And now it's a liveness test. And one more, in KYC you also need to provide the source of fund. Yeah, so you are going to prove which is sort of fund of that asset and that crypto what is on your wallet. For example, in my case, it's a mining. In the end, also you need to prove that you are beneficial owner of that crypto wallet. That's it, and the last step is the phone number verification. and KYC is done. So we need to wait few seconds or minutes, and our KYC provider will verify all the details, and then we are possibility to grant the CryptoPass for this specific user. But we will go back to the dashboard and we'll see what we see there. So we have here a problem. I think I missed with my birthday. Yeah. Yeah, you can update that if something was wrong, and then it starts again. And now it's complete. Yeah. And now we have possibility to generate the CryptoPass. Yeah, and the checksum of these CryptoPass are saved in the blockchain. So anybody can easily verify all those data if they have a CryptoPass and with specific blockchain transactions. So it's secured by blockchain technology. And we have here all the information about this wallet. We have a patented technology, Know Your Wallet, yeah, where we are gathering the trustworthiness of a specific wallet, yeah, belonging to specific crypto user. And for example, in my case, I'm in the middle, yeah. I'm medium credibility score because this is a new wallet and not a lot of transaction there. That's why I'm quite, yeah. And also we can see AML information, where risk indicators, which also say that all going to the new addresses. So it's also here, and also who is behind that wallet. And we see that KYC status is green. It means that we checked the sanction list, PEPs, and other stuff. And let's go back to our dashboard. Not this data, only the fingerprint of the data, the checksum, because it's not correctly to store private information in the blockchain. Yeah. But you can trust this information, then you can with this transaction to verify that. Yeah, I can also show what we have. Yeah, you can grab my CryptoPass and check it. Yeah, and we can also download this PDF certificate, which will show that I go through this verification. And I will go back to dashboard, update the screen, and now I see that in my workshop demo I have the first successed user, yeah, and we have all the graphics here, statuses, and we can go deeper and see that all verification process is done. The KYC is done, ownership, AML, and CryptoPass is gathered. And we can also go deeper and check how he proves the ownership. We see it was a Satoshi test, we see transaction ID, the Satoshi test address, amount, and also see all AML information about the specific wallet of the risk score, all risk indicators, and we can also download it's not working right now, okay. It's normally for demo, yeah, but you have possibility to download also all verification files to be compliant in your states with all those regulations. So that's it, how we are doing that. So if you have any questions, you can ask, and we are, asking you to become our partner and start verifying your users using our CryptoPass. Thank you.
Hello. What's the risk score for a blank wallet? And why ask for a transaction for the Satoshi test? Isn't a signature enough? Because the gas cost is 50% of the price of the KYC.
Yeah, the Satoshi test, like I mentioned previous, is the easiest way to prove the ownership, but it's not very cost efficient, yeah, because you need to pay this gas fee. Yeah, first of all, yeah, but there is other methods, yeah, we will introduce, which will not ask any additional costs for crypto user. For example, message sign is also applicable. But it's very hard to implement right now because, for example, Bitcoin wallets do not support message sign functionality, only the desktop versions. Yeah, but most popular Bitcoin wallet do not support that. But and you ask also about the risk score. Risk score is AML risk score. Yeah, we check your specific crypto wallet. We go through all your transactions, and what? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. If you are new client, like in bank also, so we can trust you. You are somewhere in the middle because you don't have any specific transactions. Yeah. They need to gather some more details to give a proper risk scoring. That's why for new wallets, for new customers, usually the risk score is somewhere in the middle. Yeah, but I think my AML compliance team will answer better on these questions. Yeah, but usually it's like that. So it depending on those transactions, what you have in that wallet, and if you are doing the transaction with some regulator entities, it will appear your risk score, yes. So if you are making transaction with non-decentralized exchange, your risk score will be higher. But if you are doing, for example, with Kraken, who is regulated in Europe, yeah, the risk score will be lower. So it depends on that entity with which you have these transactions.
My question is about the validation of the address of the wallet, because there is a confusion between wallet, address, account. In Ethereum, probably it's okay. You validate my address, which is also my account, but in Bitcoin, I do the Satoshi test, then I prove that I'm the owner of that particular private key. But you know that Bitcoin wallet, in principle, for privacy best practice, you are using many different addresses, so you have to redo the proof many times, or how it works?
Yeah, for HD wallets, which are generating for each transaction the new wallet, there is like HD public key, which will like collect all the details about all your wallets previous. Yeah, and if you will make the new one, it will be also connected to that stack. So you not need to verify each time. But yes, this is a good question. Yeah, and this, so we are handling this issue right now.
Can you elaborate on the cost a user would have to pay to KYC? If I understand correctly, me as an individual that wants to use an application or an exchange would have to pay. So does that mean if I want to, right now I use, let's say, 10 different DeFi protocols, would I have to pay 10 different times? I don't see a future where me as an individual would have to pay. Wouldn't those DeFi protocols take that cost?
Yeah, we think very similar. Yeah, we want to solve that issue, but you don't need to go through each time KYC when you are joining the new project. But regulation says that each company should do with KYC each time for them. Yeah, because these verification are different for each financial institution. Right now, you should to do it multiple times for different projects. But we trying to solve that, and if we will see the solution, we will provide that. But right now it's not. But if your companies are connected somehow, yeah, there can be a possibility to exchange with verification between those companies. And about the cost, so it's depending on the project business model. Yeah, if you don't want to cover the verification cost, yeah, and it will not burn your conversion rate of the business, then you can ask clients to pay that. But if you are willing to cover that, it's also possible. And the price is depending on the verification level. Yeah, for example, if you need a video KYC, and in specific countries like Germany, Switzerland, Estonia, yeah, there is a necessary to do this. Then these costs will be higher, yeah, around $20 or more. If it's like a regular KYC, yeah, it can be only like 5 or till 10 euros. Yeah, it depends on the verification level what you need it to be regulated.
If you are bankless, can we pay the crypto card payment with some ETH, for example, too? If you are bankless, you don't have a credit card. Can we pay with crypto?
For CryptoPass right now is not an option. You need to have a credit card. We are integrated with Stripe, yeah, but in future, yeah, it's depending on your projects. Yeah, if you see that you are mostly with Web3 and you need a crypto payment, then we can add this option as well. But right now, for us, we are using Stripe. All methods which are providing from Stripe, we also provide. Okay, thank you for the workshop. And if you have any questions, so come on.
And we have a stand across the way here. We're here this afternoon, tomorrow. Come on over and chat if you have more questions. Thanks.